I legally cannot thirst over anybody who is not black for the month of February. So for the duration of this video, we are looking at Mr. Billy Zane through the lens of being a light-skinned man.
I don't think so.
And I'm standing on business with that. Roll the intro. You ever have one of those nights where everything just seems to go straight to hell? You know, you're trapped, holed up in this dingy ass, dirty ass motel. There's some weird guy telling you he's on a holy mission. And oh yeah, there's a demon in a cowboy hat trying to talk your soul out of your body. You ever had that? No? Just me? Damn. Well, that's exactly what goes down in Tales from the Crypt Demon Knight, an absolute gem of a film that's got the right amount of camp, gore, and sexy Billy Zane to remind you where it came from. Released in 1995, the film had a budget of around $13 million and only raked in a little over $21 million at the box office. That is no bueno. No bueno. We really let this one flop, guys. I say we as if I was alive in 95. Directed by the iconic Ernest Dickerson, who has so many impressive credits in TV. This Joker's done Criminal Minds, CSI Miami, Once Upon a Time, The L Word, The Walking Dead, The Purge series, House of Cards. Check the resume, ho. Y'all gonna stop playing with my man. And as for films other than Demon Knight, the most notable are probably Bones with Snoop Dogg and Juice from 92 with Tupac. The script, though, was written by Mark Bishop alongside Ethan Reef and Cyrus Voris, and the film stars faces like Baby Daddy Billy Zane, who other than Demon Knight you might recognize from The Phantom, Dead Calm, or a little indie film called Titanic. William Sadler is in this movie too, another industry man who has done a lot. But I about screamed when I recognized him as the fucking Grim Reaper in Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. That film was, oh my god, I need to rewatch that. Let me set a reminder because I need to rewatch that. Talk about a fever dream. I used to watch that film with my sister a lot. We had the DVD and oh, that goddamn Grim Reaper used to creep me the hell out. Some other cast members are Jada Pinkett, CCH Pounder, and Dick Miller. It's a great cast, fantastic cast. But what makes Demon Knight stand out from the usual mid-90s horror fare? How did this Crypt Keeper-backed cult classic manage to be both ridiculous and genuinely compelling? And why did Billy Zane make demonic temptation look so enticing? Let's dig in to Tales from the Crypt Demon Knight. A guy named Breaker, William Sadler's character, is riding through a desert, being followed by sexy space cowboy Billy Zane, who plays the Collector. Breaker's car tank is going empty, so it looks like the trouble has only just begun. Breaker whips his car to the side, pulls out his shotgun, and starts pew-pewing. Bow, bow, bow. His car catches on fire too, but Billy Boy is still headed towards him. And Breaker's car is locked, but he manages to crawl out his window in time before the cowboy makes impact, and both vehicles burst into flames. Breaker pulls off his right-hand glove, revealing 7 stars, 3 of which are glowing. The thunder rumbles, and as we see a sign that reads, "Welcome to Wormwood, New Mexico," he makes his way to a late-night cafe. He runs up to a vehicle trying to break in, but the owner's son, Danny, pops from out the cut, and he's like, "Are you stealing my daddy's car?" And Breaker's like, "No, I was testing the lock. It seems to be working just fine. Hey kid, do you want a quarter? How about a shiny new quarter?" And as this kid should, he says, "Dad, there's a guy outside stealing your car!" You really thought this boy was gonna keep quiet about some stranger stealing his pop's car for a quarter. I mean, I would at least ask for like 10,000. Word. Breaker runs off into the night, stopping somewhere to catch his breath. And a man named Uncle Willie, who looks like the great value version of Robert De Niro, comes by him yapping with some liquor in hand, even offering some to the poor feller. I don't know how people drink after strangers. Y'all nasty. Breaker asks Willie if he knows a place where he could bed down for the night, and it just so happens he does. Back at the car crash, there are two cops investigating the collision. One vehicle has a Maryland tag and the other has a New Jersey tag. Bob the cop tells his superior sheriff that the cars had to be going over 100 miles per hour to do the damage they were doing. And the sheriff says,
"Well, Bob, it's too late to give them a ticket. But if it'll make you feel any better, you could shoot their ashes."
And just a few seconds later, Space Cowboy Billy comes walking around the flames with the dripped out trench coat on. He tells the cops one of the cars was his and immediately starts asking the pigs if they've seen Breaker. So of course they're just as confused as we are. Uncle Willie is taking Breaker to the spooky motel that was decommissioned back in the 50s, and as Breaker stops to look at his hand, we see the 7th star has settled in a circle, so this must be where he needs to be. When they enter, we officially meet guest Cordelia and the owner, Irene. Breaker tells Irene he needs a room for a few days, but Irene doesn't rent to strangers or rent short term. But after he pulls out the gangsta wada hundreds, she says,
"But I can make exceptions."
like, girl, you ain't doing it right. You could have added, if you knew what you was doing, you could have added a few more hundreds. Let it be known, Cordelia was all up in his ass when he pulled that stack out. Irene calls for our next character, Geraldine, who is giving me butch realness, and she's ordered to show Breaker room number 5, fix him dinner, and after that, she's got some more jobs for her. This is slave work. Irene and Geraldine go back and forth so many times in this movie, but especially in the beginning. Geraldine is trying to clean the stove, and Irene keeps interrupting her, being like, do this, do that. She like, God damn, like, bitch, I'm trying to come on, man. I'm only one person, bro. We meet yet another character, Wally. Yeah, there's Uncle Willie and then there's Wally. I don't know why we had to name these characters very similar, but Uncle Willie, Wally. Cordelia is comforting Wally as he vents about him recently being fired from the post office. Cordelia starts screaming for, this is later after she's settled Breaker in his room. She starts screaming for Geraldine to get her sheets from out the basement, like they were in the washing machine. And y'all gonna stop playing in my girl face. Like she said, she was trying to clean this goddamn oven and y'all keep interrupting her. So she tells Cordelia, she's like, girl, do it yourself. Like, what are you talking about? And by the way, I saw them stains in your sheets.
Damn guacamole. Well, would you just be...
Guacamole. Right. But Wally says he will do it. And when he leaves, Cordelia tells Irene, I feel bad, maybe I should give Wally a freebie. Oh, okay, so she's a sex worker. The pigs get a call from an operator who informs them that there was a call and report about a vehicle attempting to get stolen at the cafe, so they move out. Meanwhile, Breaker is scarfing down dinner and Cordelia is being desperate, telling Breaker to finish his food.
I'll take care of dessert.
That's when a black cat named Cleo hops up next to her. And after Irene enters, she says,
Get that pussy off the table. I meant the cat.
After Irene starts bitching about the cat Cleo, which belongs to Geraldine, they go back and forth and she makes a few comments about Geraldine being part of a program. Work release, basically. And if Irene hadn't have taken her in and gave her a job, she would either be behind bars or in the ground dead. Everyone hears a honk outside and Breaker looks like he's about to paint his undies, but there's no sign of the cowboy, just a roach. No, that's literally his name. Claudia is all up on him while he reports he's late because a man tried to steal Homer's truck at the cafe. But who cares? I'm horny. So Claudia and Roach head up to the top floor because Roach has been waiting for this all week. He follows this statement up with asking Cordelia what panties does she have on.
I got the sheriff flavor.
Are those edible panties? You know what? I want pieces of panty in my salad.
Freaky ass.
You freaky frog! You're a freaky frog!
Irene then tells Wally to put the basket by the steps because she's gonna need clean sheets in about an hour. Poor Wally. He looks so sad, right? Or is he plotting? The sheriff gets yet another call from the operator who says she received a call from Irene about a man that the sheriff might possibly be looking for. Roach and Claudia are making the whole hotel shake. Geraldine makes a passive comment laughing. And I guess Breaker takes this opportunity to ask her what she got locked up for. Stealing. Sirens are heard outside as the boys make their grand entrance. And oh boy, let it begin. Let it begin. Breaker looks like he's about to have a panic attack when he sees the space cowboy behind the pigs. And after the boys lock eyes, Billy tells the sheriff that Breaker is armed. And you know what he does? He pulls out an Italian switchblade. God, I still want one of those, but they're illegal in the US. Everyone is now like, oh shit! Breaker tells the pigs to drop the guns or he'll kill her. They do a back and forth roundabout of drop the knife, he won't do it. Drop the knife, I bet you won't do it. But he drops it. And the cops put him in handcuffs. They look through his wallet, announce his real name, and Irene states how he told her his last name was Smith. Sheriff orders Bob to call his ID in as Billy Boy nods to Breaker's satchel, saying what he's looking for should be in there, but it's empty. Irene asks Billy, what you gotta do with this? And his response is, I work for a collection agency.
Right.
Space Cowboy reaches for a glass of water next to Breaker's face and he starts tweaking out. He's like, keep him away from me! And the tension of this damn item just keeps building up. Like, what does this dude want from him so bad? They question the collector, who tells them it's a piece of antiquity, a relic in the shape of a key. Sheriff tells Bob to search his room, but it's nowhere to be found. Cordelia and Roach are still going at it through all of this, mind you. And Bob pulls out his gun as he inches towards the north. Why are you pulling out your gun? You know what's going on. Cut the shit, you virgin. And when he looks through the cracked door, Cordelia has a pair of jumper cables attached to a battery that's, I think you get it. I told y'all he was freaky.
Fucking freaky frog!
Bob busts in the room yelling, freeze! And makes them put their clothes on and go downstairs. He didn't find any relic, but he did find a pair of cables. And according to the computer system, Frank Breaker died over 5 years ago. So everybody is like, what's going on? What's going on, guys? Sheriff threatens to put him in a jail cell to get him to talk, but Space Cowboy is like, before y'all drag him on, I would like to collect what is mine so I can be on my way. Uncle Willie jumps in the conversation too, announcing that he knows where the relic is. So Breaker starts screaming, no, that sexy cowboy isn't who he says he is. Bro was hiding the key under the table, and we see the relic's got 7 stars on it, just like Breaker's hand. The collector opens his briefcase, but before he can place it in, you trying to dump that cranberry juice out that he put in there? With I don't want that in my, yep. But the sheriff decides to take it and tells Bob to put Breaker in the car. He points the gun at Space Cowboy and says that he's coming with them, because at the end of the day, both cars were stolen. Buddy tells the sheriff if they had only listened to Breaker and known who he really was, then y'all would know you're about to be in some shit. But the sheriff says, I'll find out who you are real soon.
Why wait?
Oh! Shit! All hell breaks loose. Breaker screams at Bobby to give him the key while the collector's struggling to get his hand out of the sheriff's head. And when Breaker finally unlocks himself, he leaps over, but Billy punches him in the face. With the sheriff's head, mind you, before yelling, "Heads up!" and tossing it at Bobby Boo. Breaker grabs the relic, pressing it against the collector's face, who screams before jumping out one of the side windows. We got this legendary line coming up. Everybody rushes to the window to see where he went, and my man is going off. Billy is going off. He's like,
"Humans, you're not even worth the flesh you're printed on."
Fuck this cowboy shit!
You fucking ho dunk, po dunk, well then there, motherfuckers!
best line delivery of the 90s. He announces to his audience that his property is hereby condemned, then takes a sharp pinky and slices the middle of his palm, sprinkling yummy green juice all over the ground, which boils and conjures up angels. Or demons. Look at their hair. We need to get y'all some Biden. Like, ooh. All the lights in the building go off and things are about to get real. The collector and his demons completely disappear. Until one of them jumps through the window and strangles Wally. Breaker pulls out the booga and starts busting caps, sending them back in a lightning strike. More come busting down the front doors. We get more pow pows. And to stop them, Breaker pours the red liquid inside of the relic on the frame, which creates a seal around the entrance. Geraldine grabs Wally so they can run through the back.
Go to the next one.
But a demon immediately snatches her by the neck. And Breaker tosses a knife right in its eye before sealing that door as well. Another demon tries to run through the seal, but he just crisps up and dies. Wally's telling Cordelia to stay away from the windows, but Roach is announcing how he's gonna make a run for his car. No. No, guys, don't stop him. Go ahead, Roach. You grown. So he runs out, and Cordelia runs right after him. Imagine how tired we are. Trying to get him back in. And get this, she's the one that ends up getting attacked. She punches one of the demons, immediately apologizing, and Wally ain't gonna let his #queen die. So he snatches Breaker's gun, runs outside, and busts 3 caps in the demon's head. But you gotta go through the eyes, nephew. So he blasts both pupils and gets shot against the wall, but he alright, he okay. Breaker starts sealing all the windows and everybody is freaking out, asking what's going on. So here's what you need to know. Everybody stay inside and stay together. That's the tweet. Oh, and just make it through the night. Oh, and there's 2 things that can be used against them. The blood and this little relic right here, and anything that can destroy their eyes. It's not hard. Irene is calling all of this crazy. Roach is going off, but baby, I need y'all to get on board. Y'all clearly see what these motherfuckers can do. So it's time to get the Vaseline, get the bandanas, get the Timbs, and get ready to fight. Roach says that since the collector and the demons want Breaker's key, they should all just throw him out and give it to him. But Breaker lets Blondie know that they're gonna kill them all anyway, or possess them, or use himself to get the rest of them. So what now?
So?
No, I'm saying
what now?
I mean,
Geraldine says that her cat Cleo is outside, but Breaker raises his voice at her, telling her if you go out, then you stay out, before ordering everybody to stay down here while he goes upstairs and seals the windows. We stay with Breaker as he goes room to room, and we get this glowing red light that comes in and out as he seals each window. I dig that creative directorial decision. Very simple, but just the simple stuff is like the good stuff, you know? It's cool, it's effective. A flash of lightning casts the shape of a cross on the wall from the stained glass window, and it sends Breaker into a flashback hallucination of 3 men on the cross. One of the green-eyed monsters approach a man in a robe who holds out the relic and is electrocuted. Geraldine comes upstairs, tapping him on the shoulder, freaking him out because she figured he might need some help. She's so proactive. I love her. Breaker then apologizes for her cat being outside, and he also says sorry for holding the knife up to her throat. You know, he's like, I was never really actually going to hurt you, but she knows he wasn't. Geraldine even tries to get a little bit more out of him. She's like, who are you? Really? And he's like, I'm just a man. What did he say? He said, I'm just an old man running out of time. Right? Roach makes fun of Cordelia for confiding in Wally since he saved her life. And after Cordelia reminds Roach that his punk ass didn't come out to save her, he says, well, nobody told you to follow me. So now Cordelia knows who her real friends are.
Boys ain't got no friends.
Irene pulls out the Country Girl Demon Blaster 3000 shotgun that used to be her husband's, and Cleo pops out the cut. When Breaker walks in the room, he tries to snatch her out of Geraldine's hands because animals can also be possessed by these creatures. But there ain't gonna be no power of Christ compels you from Miss Kitty, because Miss Kitty is outie. So while they all go hunting for her, Roach approaches Wally. Wally World starts berating Roach's scary ass for leaving Cordelia outside. But Roach don't care nothing about that. He wants to get Breaker's key so he can give it to the demons and they can all leave. What the hell is not, like, what's not clicking? Did those jumper cables fry your nipples that hard that it just, shot up to your brain cells? Slim, Breaker said that y'all are not immune. Like, just wait till the morning. I hate people like this. Roach pushes Cordelia in a room and starts threatening her, saying if she gets in his way, I'm gonna kill you, bitch. And after Cordelia says she's not afraid of him, he slaps her across the face. She should have connected those cables to his pee-pee and fried it off. Pussycat Cleo is officially found though, and Breaker puts his relic up to its body with nothing happening. So the cat is holy. The cat is holy. No animals are dying today, guys. Cordelia's in her room crying to herself, my nigga don't love me now. When Billy Baby starts talking inside her head in that suave voice. She follows his voice to a window where he's seen looking up at her like he's in a music video.
Baby, you should let me love you, love you, love you, love you, yeah.
Still in her head telling her how she's still valuable. She's not a whore.
We know you're a little slut. I'm not a slut. I'm not a slut. I'm not a slut. I'm not a slut. I ain't no slut.
When he lifts his hand up, he says, I can give you love, as much love as you can take. All you have to do is let me in. Wally then comes in, and she's suddenly on freak nasty Tina Snow mode. She getting word, give me that, getting all touchy, and we know the deal. Meanwhile, Geraldine, Breaker, Irene, Bob, and Uncle Willie discover a tunnel-like mine shaft in the basement. But Breaker thinks it's too risky. After he tells everybody that they're safer in the motel, Wally's screams are heard from upstairs. So everybody rushes up there, following the noise. And when they reach the steps, we see Roach is just standing halfway up, listening to everything, ? The damn door is shaking, and when they open it, Cordelia is on demon mode, looking like she crawled from the very pits of hell, digging in Wally's face. My God, what the hell? Breaker tries to pop, but Wally is used as a shield. I don't care. He was a lost cause anyway. Next thing you know, she jumps on Breaker. Ooh, this shit is so nasty. Her neck starts growing out. We get some slobbery tongue action. Like, what the hell am I watching? What am I watching? I thought Tales from the Crypt was the after school special. Breaker tries getting the relic from his pocket, but Cordelia just smacks it down the hall, where it spills out and seals the entire line upstairs. Irene grabs the relic and tries to throw it on Cordelia, but Cordelia yanks her arm off, and Breaker finally blows a load into her head. Everybody's now in a room together. Geraldine is saying if they wait any longer, then Irene is going to bleed to death. And on top of that, Roach reiterates his entire sentiment about giving the demons the relic. So Breaker pulls out a gun and he's like, okay, if you want it, hold and take it. But then I'm gonna have to kill you, son. Huh? The mines are still out of the question because Breaker says, they probably already discovered it. Now, if y'all go down there, I can't save you. But they all decide to go anyway. I mean, Wally and Cordelia are both dead, so you're not really doing a good job, saving anybody. Roach is slamming a sledgehammer into a wall, and this gives Breaker more flashbacks to some nails being driven into the hands of Christ on the cross. Oh, this is graphic. We see the green-eyed monsters yet again, and as it reaches its hand out, the blood from Christ burns him, and the man in the robe fills his relic with it. Roach gets the hole in the wall open and tells Uncle Willie to go first, stating age before beauty. Everybody enters, including Breaker, who gives in and seals the entrance. We're getting pretty low on blood, nephew. Geraldine hears a child saying, "Help me," so she continues investigating.
No, don't do that.
And we find Danny from the cafe earlier. Geraldine calls him by his name, asking him how he got down here, so she obviously recognized him. And then that's when two demons, who turn out to be his parents, pop out the cut. They start screaming, everybody books out the mines, Breaker busts a few more caps, and Bob pulls him through the threshold back into the basement. And then, because Roach has to f*** everything up, he raises his shotgun up to his boss, who is one of the demons, and says, "This is for 4 years of minimum wage," then blows his boss in the head. So you know what that means. He broke the seal that was just created. You fucking idiot. Everybody rushes back upstairs. Geraldine is right behind Danny with him in the front, directing him where to go. We find out the reason Danny was in the mines was because the collector came back to the diner and turned his parents. So he ran away and found his way down there. Now Breaker, who is naturally team f them kids, holds the relic to Danny's forehead to make sure he isn't a dungeon dragon, but he's fine. There are no more shotgun shells and Bob's only got 4 more rounds. So what the hell we gonna do now? It's time for another flashback. And in this one, Breaker is in the Civil War shooting demons when his buddy, who's been wounded, drips his blood inside the relic. And after clasping their hands together, Breaker gets flashes of the origins of the relic right before his dying buddy tells him that he's the one. Everyone starts demanding answers from Breaker, who tells them that he did not plan all of this. The demons need 7 people, and it has to line up with the 7 stars. You see, before the collector came there with Bob and the sheriff, there was only 5 of them, which is why they're so adamant. Breaker shows them the 7 stars on his hand and continues. In the beginning,
there was nothing, and then there was woman.
God created heaven on earth. In the darkness, there were the demons. They had 7 keys that formed into a circle to focus the power of the cosmos into their hands. Until God stepped forth and said, "Let there be light," and there was light. He scattered the demons and scattered the keys all across the universe. Fast forward 2 or 3 million millennia, and now the demons are back. They have 6 of the keys, and one day they'll find the 7th key here on earth. To save it, God filled it with the blood of a carpenter who was being crucified by the Romans and gave it to a thief named Sirach. The relic was passed down, and now most of the blood in the relic currently belongs to a soldier named Dickerson. This is clearly a reference to the film director Ernest Dickerson. He says Dickerson gave it to him in France, August 23rd, 1917. Damn, Breaker, you ancient, huh? And when the blood runs out, the demons are going to bring back the darkness. Roach gives Breaker an apology, calling him a hero, just as Geraldine realizes Danny is no longer next to her. And before everybody disperses to look for him, Roach reaches in Breaker's satchel and takes the relic. This next scene is one of my favorite scenes in the movie. Top 3 probably. Geraldine goes into a room and the camera follows her body as she looks under the bed, and when she gets up, we enter a whole different realm. There's white sheets flowing through the windows, and down the hall is a painting of her as we hear Space Cowboy's voice inside her head. He says, "Do me a favor and don't scream. Just hear what I have to say and then scream." As this soft drum beat starts playing, we see various pictures of Geraldine in different European cities as Billy tells her she's so young and there's a whole world out there. So why are you stuck in this little house? He tells her he can give her the world, and suddenly hands start moving through her picture, which she walks toward. The collector tells Geraldine that Breaker is a dead man, and if she sticks with him, then she's gonna end up the same way. With this, her eyes and the sheet begin bleeding, and when it drops, we see a visual of all the demons feeding on Breaker's body. He says it's a simple deal, Geraldine. You let me in, and I let you out. Before popping up behind her, charming as ever, telling her, "Look, I know how it sounds. You give up your soul, you turn into a demon, you look like shit. Where's the payoff, right? But I'll make you a little promise." He teleports behind her, grabbing her from behind, saying, "Just give me what I want, and nothing will happen to you. I can make it that you stay pretty forever. Think about that, because I don't think you know just how pretty you are." He spins her around, kissing her hand, and finally says, "All you have to do is say yes." All you gotta do is say yes. Don't deny what you feel, baby.
Something tells me you don't trust me.
Geraldine comes walking down the hall like a damn zombie, just as Irene and Bob go up to the attic, where Danny and Willie are. Willie is down in a bottle of vodka, and Danny is reading A Tales from the Crypt comic. Irene orders both of them to go back down and tell Breaker to bring his butt and the relic up here now. Uncle Willie and Danny enter a room, and Willie is, well, let's just say he's somewhere else. He is in like this tropical themed room flooded with a bunch of topless women.
Oh my goodness. Oh yeah. Oh geez. Oh my goodness. Oh my God.
The girls direct Willie to the bar where Space Cowboy is its tender. He pulls out a green liquid and a dark liquor drink, and Willie hesitantly starts drinking. He pours him more, saying, "Knock yourself out." Up in the attic, Irene and Bob discover a crate of Wally's belongings. He's got tons of open mail, and they come to the conclusion that he was reading everybody's mail. And there's also a swarm of guns. What the hell? They find a letter that he wrote to Cordelia where he confessed that he was gonna wipe out his entire post office for her. But those guns don't have any bullets, so they can't use them against the demons. However, there is a string of grenades. Breaker and Geraldine find Danny hiding behind a chair when Willie attacks Breaker, who starts screaming for Geraldine to help him, but she's frozen, just hearing the collector telling her to give him what he wants. Billy Boy visits Irene in the attic, coming up with a platter saying, "I'm your waiter today, Skip. Our special today is a lovely poached appendage. For starters, I recommend the finger food." And on this yummy platter, we see her decapitated arm. And he asks her, "Irene, would you like your arm back? Because I can make it happen."
Is that a yes?
No. That's me giving you the finger, asshole.
I'll get back to you.
Geraldine is breaking down, crying, and yelling at Willie to put Breaker down because she doesn't want to hurt her pop-pop. Meanwhile, Roach passes the threshold, but the demons, along with the collector, come shimmying up the stairs. Roach tells him he wants out of here, and he's looking to cut a deal. Willie is still strangling Breaker, and I honestly think that he probably has maybe the most creepiest design. I mean, Cordelia was a little, yeah, but I don't know, something about him is, you know? He turns around, no longer demonized, and tells Geraldine, "You wouldn't hurt your old Uncle Willie now, would you, baby?" Before flinging her ass across the room. But too bad for Demon Willie, because Breaker grabs a machete off the wall and decapitates him. But he's still alive. His body is fighting Breaker with the sight view from laying on the ground, so Danny covers his head while Breaker screams out for them to get his eyes. And Danny successfully picks up his head and slams his eyes into some antlers, ending Willie. Roach isn't sure if the collector will just kill him anyway, but Billy Boy lets him know they've been counting on him. You know, he's got his word. But of course you wouldn't mind if we kill everybody else first.
If it makes you feel good, do it.
It makes you feel good, do it. Exactly.
If it makes you feel good, do it. He tells Roach he's got to break the seal and flips a sponge out of his mouth. So Roach takes it, wiping the seal and placing the relic in his briefcase, so he's free to go. That is until he gets to the bottom floor and the collector is like, haha, LOL, I forgot to mention one thing, buddy.
I lied.
He lied, and a group of demons come out of the cut to eat his ass.
Nigga,
Well, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Like, not literally like eat, stop. Like, you're not, stop. Space Cowboy makes his way upstairs.
Come on out, everybody. It's time to play. Hello. Or not.
Breaker grabs the briefcase and everybody hauls ass up to the attic. And that's when Irene starts putting the grenades around her neck. Not this girl. Telling Breaker to go up because this is my house and I make the rules. So her and Bob stay by the door frame as all the demons come upstairs. They hold each other as Irene snatches back the trigger and she says, supper time. For whatever reason, Danny is back on his comics as if there are not demons underneath them trying to eat them. He's got the damn that's crazy look after the explosion. And when he looks back at the comic book, the eyes of baby daddy Billy open and possess him. Breaker now officially only has enough in the relic for one entrance. So Geraldine tells him to do the window. But instead of sealing the window, he pours the blood on Geraldine's hand.
What did you do that for?
What are you doing, nephew? She seals the window and Breaker tells her to take the key. This key, he says, is one of 7 and she's the only one left. The chosen one. I came here to give you this key. That's when Danny snatches Breaker's arm asking, can I have it? The wind starts blowing the pages of the Tales from the Crypt comic and we see the actions taking place in the attic are the same as what's happening in the book. Danny turns into this ugly ass monster as he throws Breaker around the room and sticks his tongue into Breaker's chest, making him drop the key. So Geraldine tries to go after it, but Danny throws her ass at the wall. Y'all gonna stop throwing my girl at the wall. I know she's light as a feather, stiff as a board, but come on. When she gets up, she hops on the bar and kicks Danny's ass out the window. Them kids. And he explodes before even hitting the ground. Breaker tells Geraldine that she's ready. And she's like, no, ready for what, babe? No, I'm not. And after handing him the key, he pours his blood inside the relic. He asks her if the collector tried to seduce her, to which she says, yes, keyword, tried. And this only proves his point further. Like, mama, you ain't got no choice. You ain't got no choice, Buddha, right? He connects their hands and Geraldine starts seeing all the visuals of the relic's origins. He tells her when the stars line up, you'll know what to do. And he can't say how long, maybe a lifetime or several, and on that day, she will fight. And when the night is over, she'll do exactly what he just did. His final words are, watch your back before his soul leaves his body. Could you give me a second?
Yes, I can.
You better make sure that thing is filled to the brim. All the seals around the motel dissipate and a green light emulates from the attic trapdoor. When it bursts open, Billy Boy finds Breaker's body. He starts speaking to Geraldine without even knowing where she is, and it looks like his point was proven. Breaker is dead and she's still here. He tells her to pour the blood out and save the years of running. So when Geraldine reveals herself, she's covered head to toe in blood. Now, Mr. Bill Collector here thinks that, those are just battle wounds. But, baby, we know what this is. This is the blood of Christ. He reaches out to her, and when she touches his hand, he starts sizzling. He's like, you bitch! Then dives back into the motel. Final girl, Geraldine, drops down from the attic with her flashlight. Blood of Christ dripping. Huh, you protected now, girl. Yeah. She makes her way into the bathroom, finding a decapitated head, and when she looks up, she notices that the shower curtain is gone. That's when the collector swoops behind her, covering her body in the shower curtain. He throws her in the tub and starts washing her body. She is screaming at the top of her lungs, and she stabs him in the eye with the key, then pours the rest of the blood in her mouth. See, this is a smart bitch right here. That's why she's the final girl. The collector is laughing because that eyeball shit only works on the low-level demons. And as he drags her body in the curtain down the hall, he's saying how today is a special day for him because he waited a long time for this promotion. I don't know why I said it like that. And he's glad that it's Jay he could share it with. He unfolds the curtain, sets the relic down, and when he picks Geraldine up, they get a nice spotlight and a cute dance number. He starts yapping off saying, I know what you're thinking. I've got the key, so what else could I possibly want?
I want you. No one's ever brought a demon knight over to the other side before. Not in one piece, anyway.
He spins her around as he continues, saying he's very easy to live with. He's clean, he doesn't drink, and he knows his folks are gonna love her. But then we notice she's not saying anything. Is it because you're thinking of something to say? He says.
What the hell is there to think about?
Can I just say I love her outfit? It's very simple, but sometimes simple works. The dyed blonde hair, the ripped white tank, the underwear, the thick white socks, the nails. This is like a great Halloween costume, especially if you did this with blood covered all on it. Like, yeah. The collector goes on saying, there was a time when a coy silence was appreciated in a woman.
Well, this is not one of those times. And you're really starting to piss me off. No, boy.
But he apologizes for getting out of hand. Before trying to say the L word, you. And he proposes the question. No, not that one. But he asks Geraldine if she could him. Crickets. He snaps his fingers and her body levitates forward. You will die, he says, but at least we'll be together forever. Because if I can't have your soul, then I'm gonna take your heart. He flicks a long blade from his index, and Geraldine finally spits out the blood that's been sitting in her mouth. The collector's face and skin starts burning and deteriorating all over. Smoke is emulating. This is some scary shit. And next thing you know, his body lights on fire before turning into a full winged demon creature, and the entire building explodes. But my girl was fine through all that because Miss Mama is protected. She held the holy blood in her mouth and she is doused. Before heading out, she goes to the attic back to Breaker's body and refills the relic. I know that's right. I would have went. You go down to the kitchen. You need to get a bunch of containers and empty his whole set. I'm not playing. When she gets on the bus, after giving the driver her money, she pours a drop on the door and they drive off. But at the next stop, a man dressed down in a trench coat and another cowboy hat, but all in black, is about to get on the bus. Then slowly walks in the bus's direction, whistling the Tales from the Crypt theme. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you saw a black final girl? A handful of times, right? Mindy in Scream, Adelaide in Us, Reese Wilson in Urban Legend, Alexa in Alien vs. Predator, or as my country-ass father Peter Parker pronounces it, Predica. Naomi in 28 Days Later, Tess in Barbarian, or Emerald in Nope. Lovely women, right? But when was the last time you saw a soul surviving black final girl? The only one in the film to make it to the end. That's right, bitch. This is the only one. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Somebody correct me, you know, if there's a single black girl surviving out here. Why do we not have more than that? Why is the black girl, why is the island girl, right? No word. Why is the island gal always like the best friend? Like y'all just be adding, no. I'm sick of it. About to crash out in here. No, but for real, like if you can think of, I cannot think of one. If you can think of a soul surviving colored girl, no, sorry, black, blickety black, you let me know. Let me know. I adore this film so much. I mean, like I said, the soul surviving black girl, like we don't see that. We do not see that. Geraldine is extremely resourceful. She's tough and just overall feels like an actual person instead of a walking blank slate. She followed Breaker upstairs to see if he needed help sealing the windows. She opted to get Irene to a hospital so she wouldn't bleed out. She went looking for the child's voice, which turned out to be Danny. And when they ran out the mine, she put him in front, directing him where to go. And she was the first to reject the collector's temptations. Matter of fact, there are only 2 people in this entire movie who reject his temptations. And who was the other person? Irene. A black woman. Period. Like if you get it, you get it. And Billy Zane, my light skin prince, you know? My baby, a marvelous performance. I wish he would have done more horror features because he is hands down the best part about this movie. He's not overtly campy, you know, to the point of being cartoonish, but he does it very, very smooth. It's just just oozing in charisma. Demon Knight is by no means a flawless film, but it damn sure is a lot of fun. The practical effects are great and the ending is satisfying as hell. They deserved a few sequels. I don't care. We needed a sequel. If we did not, you know, flop at the box office, we would have got some sequels, y'all. I have never seen a single clip or full episode of Tales from the Crypt, like the TV show, but I did watch Are You Afraid of the Dark and Goosebumps. Like that was the joint right there. Goosebumps specifically. And can we talk about how Goosebumps was low-key a gateway for a lot of kids to dip their foot into the horror genre? Same thing for Tim Burton, but more on that later. I might release that video next month. Should I tell you what video it is? Next month, I plan on doing a video on Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. That's a horror movie. I don't care I don't give a damn. Yeah, we gonna talk about that shit. I'm gonna try not to do a little Cat in the Hat part 2, but when I rewatched that shit, I was like, no, this is a groomer. This is a groomer. Be on the lookout for that. Any horror. What do you guys think about Tales from the Crypt Demon Knight? Is it one of the best horror comedy hybrids to come out of the 90s, or is it meh? And let's be real, would you let Billy Zane's character seduce you into eternal damnation? This is a judgment-free zone, guys. If you're new here, subscribe. Baby, I know you want to. It's okay. I'm fun. I'm not like those other boring video essay channels where I'm hiding behind the camera and I'm just talking about thematic capitalism. I don't care. We're here to have fun, but also be serious sometimes. give your homeboy a like. It helps me a lot. And consider turning on those bell notifications so you know whenever I drop a new video. Yeah. Until next time, cowboys, cowgirls, and cow people, take care of your mind, take care of your body, and take care of your spirit. And say no to demons.